Dr. Patrick Dixon. Hello, good morning. What I've experienced over the last year is watching speakers understand that the way they deliver and how they deliver virtually, it's a new platform. The way that speaking on a phone is different to writing an email.
Absolutely.
So tell me about your story and how you've gone on this journey.
Okay, look, I've been doing this for over 20 years. I built a TV studio in my house in 1998, okay, broadcasting to 7 nations simultaneously. I've had 800,000 on a live webinar, all watching my video at the same moment, highly interactive. You have to think differently. Forget everything you would normally do about programming. The timetable firstly needs to change. So don't think about a day conference. Think about 90-minute segments, because that is as long as people can get the bandwidth. So they've got husbands, wives, partners, and children all needing to use the computer, or they need quietness, or they need space, they need bandwidth. You cannot expect your participants to carve out 7 or 8 hours of a single day into a virtual event. And please don't tell me, oh, well, they'll catch up later because it's all recorded. Listen, people are sick to death of watching YouTube recorded stuff. What matters is going live. So I'm very resistant to clients who say, please, can I have a pre-record? Just send me your stuff. Listen, that's easy money for me. Just to sit in front of a camera and send it. But I can always tell a speaker who's pretending. I can always tell a speaker who can't see their audience, either because there is no audience, they're just talking to a brick wall, or because the audience is completely invisible. So the key is we need to understand what creates the magic for your normal events, and let's create it virtually. So we start at the beginning. I always turn up early, Nick. None of this business of dialing into a call 5 minutes before. Why? If you and I were at a conference, I know what we'd do. We'd meet up for a coffee. We'd talk to the organizers before the doors are even open. We say hello and thank you to the technical team. We say hello to the other speakers, and we linger outside. Why? Because the chance encounters often create amazing stories which bring a whole session to life, right? Well, that's what we should be doing virtually.
In a physical event afterwards, people will come up to you on stage and there'll be a queue or whatever it is. From your perspective, what are your markers, or what are you looking to feel like I've hit home here and actually I'm making a difference?
Well, if we had 1,000 people in the conference, you and I, Nick, I think that when we come to the 2-hour break, coffee time, folks, see you in half an hour. You and I would expect to see maybe no more than 30 come to the platform. Okay, and I will do what I can, because I've got 30 minutes, 30 people that all want to talk, and are trying to do what I can. And oh my word, sorry, we'll need to go outside because everyone's coming back in. But in a virtual event, I would expect 700 or 800 to carry on.
Wow, okay.
And I would expect the numbers to still be at 300 after an hour. An hour? Now, that's different.
Proper in-depth conversation.
Yes, it's a quality of engagement you and I have never seen before in any physical event. When did you last have a coffee break and find that no one went to coffee? I mean, it just doesn't happen in physical events, but in virtual events, it really does. Why? I think it's because people really crave authenticity. They really want to connect. They're fed up with YouTube. They actually want to feel connected to the real person. They quite like it to be, the panel's gone, the panelists have finished, the chairman's disappeared. Patrick's no longer using any slides or anything like that. It's just the real him and me. That feels real.
And are you trying, so in these interactions, you've given the keynote and now you're interacting with, what are you trying to get them to be taking away with? Have you got individual pointers, or is it just that overriding?
The whole point, and this is the secret of virtual events. The secret of virtual events is that it's about them. In a normal conference, you say, right, we're going to set it up. We're going to, we've got a huge conference. We've got, spent $500,000 on technology on the stage alone, 50,000 on the smoke machines and the corporate videos, and off we go. And we might have a couple of questions from the floor. No, when we're virtual, we have to create a sense of community for it to be really engaging. And that means that there should be as little of an agenda as possible. So certainly when we come to the end of the session, I'm saying, okay, folks, I was asked to talk about the future of the airline industry and what's going to happen to holidays next year. But look, I'm happy to answer any questions, so long as that's not personal medical advice, any questions about any issue, any trend, any decade, up to the year 2150. After that, it's a little hazy, okay? But so this time is yours. Where would you like the conversation to go? And of course, that's electrifying to people. And the questions soon come thick and fast. And so that's the first thing. So we try to create a natural environment where people feel honored, listened to, engaged. So it's a combination of things. You know, don't have a 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour session. Keep them to 90 minutes. Spread out a conference over 5 days. Keep each session sharply personal and relevant. Make sure it's really about them and not about you and your ego and your strategy and all the things you want to punch home. Do that in an email, but keep it out of the live event.
Yeah.
Make sure that you start and end in a very personal way. Keep it very live. Insist on the cameras being on and use straw polls. These are the basic foundation stones of success. That is the kind of thing that will make sure that your 90-minute event runs over. They say, well, oh, what if it runs over? Yes, it should. I told you to shorten your events and then let the audience tell you they're in for longer. What I don't want you to do is forcing a 5 hour event and then finding they've all gone walkabout and all the screens are blank and you know why they've gone to walk the dog. Okay. Yeah. So we 90-minute events, but you expect them, most of your audience, to continue for half an hour, 40 minutes, as long as they want. It's a completely different mindset, Nick. And that's the reason we don't do sessions back to back. That's the reason I say separate sessions, divide your whole conference up, because you've no idea which ones are going to be like igniting the touch paper. You're going to create content, put it out there, run the best events that you can, lots of mini events, but be ready for the extraordinary moment when you stop looking at your watch and you look only at the number of people still on the Zoom call. So if you are planning an event over the next few months, okay, what I would say is this, and it's very simple. You're going to see agility is the name of the game. And the first thing you're going to see is pop-up events. It's already happening in my diary. These are virtual events translating to physical events. So things that were in the diary for a virtual, but actually, you know what? Let's dare and do it physically, okay? Yeah. And suddenly convert to physical. They will happen on a national basis only, and almost always just internally. It's just for the company. And I'll say, listen, 80% of the people coming, we're in and out of physical meetings now anyway. In our HQ, we will have a reasonably socially distanced conference, but the people outside the UK, they will dial in and will attend virtually. That will be stage one. Stage two will be smaller client events. Again, pop up, short notice. Physical things might be 15 to 20 people. Only clients coming that feel comfortable to do so. The third layer will be both of those things accelerated by passports. So there'll be yes or no, it's binary. If you have a passport, you can attend. If you haven't got a passport, you can't. And this allows us to plan a bit longer term. So you're talking 6 weeks ahead now, but not 6 months, too far ahead. 6 weeks ahead, it's physical and a passport only. If you haven't got a passport, we're probably not going to let you into the event. You'll have to attend virtually, okay? But if you have got a passport, depending on the national policies in your country and in mine, it may mean that you can travel, fly in. And then the third layer will be a kind of free-for-all, but it'll only happen in some territories and probably, again, passport related, which is in vaccinated people, or it's in a community which is almost entirely vaccinated. And that will be the pattern as we head from June, July, August to September, helped by the summer months when anyway these things tend to die down. The challenge is, Nick, that I would say caution to anyone who's currently planning a big event in September, October, or November. The reason is it will only take one new major variant that shows itself well able to skip across borders and is no respecter of vaccine technology to set us back 6 months. And it will mean that there has to be another round of vaccination against that. And it may mean that your November events come under real pressure and get cancelled. So agility is the name of the game. You're going to have some opportunities to do some physical events this summer, pop-ups, spontaneous, passport related. But the most important thing is don't wait. The most important thing. People have said, I told me they said they did an initial flurry of virtual events right at the beginning, and then they got bored, their clients were fed up. And you've seen it as well. They did a flurry up to June, then things quietened down for the summer. In the autumn, people hoped to do physical stuff. It didn't quite work. When things got really badly locked down in the new year, it's like the event teams and companies just fell over and collapsed. And they thought, I'm out. I'm out of ideas. And what I'd say is this: we can't be out of ideas. What we need to do is get the format right. And if we'd got the format right in the first place, we wouldn't be talking like that. We would have a fantastic experience of events that have gone really well. We would know how to do this, and we would focus on what really matters. So I would say, don't think, oh, COVID vaccine is going to save you. We'll delay all our conference budget till June or September. You need to do it now. You cannot neglect meeting together. You need to meet together as virtually as you possibly can, but make it as real and authentic as you can at the same time.
And I think from my perspective, I love all that. I think that's truly fascinating. Thank you. I think kind of what's the critical thing for me is this realization that you can do it. It's not the same as physical. It's a different world, different environment. That doesn't mean to say, therefore, you can't get amazing experiences from it, but you've just got to think in new ways.
It's no strategy to say, oh, what we were going to do, we will just postpone. I think that's the point. We need to get on with it. We need to act quickly in an agile way, be sensitive to what's going on, be very aware of what life feels like for our audiences, and just make sure we engage with them appropriately.
Dr. Patrick Dixon, thank you so much for your time today. As always, been an education for me, so I appreciate it.